as I just did, I just used the colors I was using for the flesh, but the grayer ones. And you might be able to see it if I do this. So in here where the eyes are going to be, the whites of the eyes, I just use this slightly darker, slightly grayer version of the skin tones. That's usually the value you're going to find them anyway. The eyes will be the value of the skin around them. So if the eyes were in shadow, they would be that value, if that's your shadow value. If they're in light, then they're like this, they're the same value. Now, for the actual color, you often will make them a little bit grayer, possibly a bit lighter, but to start with, you do them the same. To make them grayer, you could actually mix a raw umber with white. And black and white is usually way too blue. And you often, in this context of skin tones, black and white just jumps out as blue. And it makes the eyes look kind of weird. So they should look much more subdued and almost the same color as the skin tones. You can barely tell them apart. It's, unless you look up really closely, but if you just see a person at a normal distance, you're not really aware of of the whiteness of their eyes. Same as your teeth. You're not really aware of how white people's teeth are, because they're usually, even when they're smiling, one, they're not perfectly white, and two, they're receding from the lips. They're usually in shade or semi-shadow. So if you're doing a painting of somebody who's smiling, and if you make the teeth too white, it just looks ridiculous. It looks like they're kind of glowing. And it can be the same with eyes. So a brownish gray, like with raw umber instead of black or blue for the whites. But the value should be similar to whatever the skin is around them.